Hey everybody, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. Once again, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. The first couple of days have been absolutely amazing. Welcome to episode 5 of the Calitraveler podcast show. In this week's episode, we'll be discussing my first week of my internship. I recently started an internship with a Thai media company called MCOT, which happens to be a media conglomerate which has TV and radio. My internship happens to be marketing product, aka media marketing. I have to summarize my first week, which happened to be 2 days because my internship began on the 1st of April, Thursday and Friday, and then, of course, off on weekends. A little bit of a flashback of my first day at my internship. Thursday, April 1st, I ended up starting my internship and actually went to sleep early the night before. Woke up very early in the morning, had coffee, and then got ready to go. Got on the road, and I left about an hour and 30 minutes early before I started the day. And the reason that I did this is being from California, you've got to leave early if you want to get somewhere on time. So I ended up leaving very early. And the morning had been going great so far. I was listening to music and paying attention to the road and concentrating. And I'm on a road called Krungtep Krita. And I took this road because I thought it was going to be the quickest way to get into that area of Bangkok where I'm going to be working. So I'm driving, everything's going great. All of a sudden I feel this pop on the back tire of my motorcycle. And it's like, shit, what am I going to do now? And the day before, I ended up getting my back tire changed and the inner tube changed because I have a motorbike and, the tires are tubed. So I ended up getting both of those changed. Well, the mechanic did a really bad job and he ended up not putting the inner tube in the tire correctly. And the tire was kind of wobbly. I just thought maybe it's just the tire trying to, settle. So, for about 10 kilometers, about 6 or 7 miles, here I am driving on a flat. I go to the nearest gas station. I try to pump up the tire. It was not pumping up. So then I start to look for mechanics to fix the tire, because I know it's just a bad inner tube. It's not the actual tire, because I checked the tire. No visible defects on the tire itself. I end up calling my supervisor and I'm telling him, I don't know what to do. This is my first day. I'm really worried that I'm going to be late. And I sent him the photo of the motorcycle tire and he just said, get here as soon as you can, get the tire fixed and get here safely. I'm very happy about the fact that they care about my safety. So I'm driving around and I'm looking for shops. I find one shop. Mechanic didn't want to fix my tire. And why was that? Because he would rather enjoy his coffee than fix the tire. So I was like, whatever. And luckily I look on the map and there was a mechanic shop right down the road. So as soon as I can, I head to that mechanic shop. And I'm in and out within 15 minutes. I wish I knew the name of that mechanic shop because I would give them a shout out and say, thank you so much. But I don't remember the name of the shop because it's a Thai name. And as you all know, my abilities to read and write Thai are almost non-existent. I'm trying to teach myself, but it is almost non-existent. I end up getting back on the road. I get to the office and I thought, I'm going to be in trouble. I've really blown this. I don't know what to do. And luckily, I check in, and there were a couple of other interns So there were a couple of other university students that were interning, but they were doing internships for human resources for MCOT. So they grab me from the lobby and they take me to the meeting room, and then I meet the HR representative. I said that I was sorry, and he said not to worry about it. He says, as long as you're safe, that's all that matters. So I signed the paperwork, and then they take me to the marketing office, and I start to introduce myself to people. And actually, people were coming up to me and introducing themselves to me and asking me, who I am, where I'm from, how long am I going to be an intern at MCOT. And it was some of the most friendliest people that I've ever met in terms of workplaces. So it felt great. I felt very welcomed. The morning started off as a disaster, and I thought it was just going to be completely a bad day. But the day actually got better. A couple hours later, my mentor comes into the office and she starts to introduce herself to me, introduces me to the job and what I'm going to be doing in the internship, and telling me who I can contact and if there's anything I need, ask questions. And I was asking a lot of questions, and immediately was getting to work on what she was telling me that we were going to do. And then around 12 o'clock, it was lunchtime. We get a 1 hour lunch, which is awesome. So most places I worked at in the US would only give me about 30 minutes off for lunch. I had an hour off for lunch. My coworkers, they walk me down and they take me to this food market right down the road from the office. It wasn't even that far, like a few steps away. I ended up having vegetarian lunch, surprisingly. So I had like a vegetable stir fry with like the berry rice and fried mushroom. It was amazing, and it was 40 baht. 40 baht is around $1.25. So what you could get for the dollar menu at McDonald's, I got it in Thailand, and it was healthy. And then after lunch, went back to the office, resumed work, and got introduced to more people at MCOT. I got to take a tour around MCOT building, and I got to see some of the places like the editing room and a couple of other places. Then it was 5 o'clock. Time to go home for the day. And surprisingly, the commute home was actually a lot better than getting there. I don't know why, but the commute coming home was much quicker. And I guess that might be because more people live in the center of Bangkok than they would outside. Or it could be because I was on a motorcycle, and it will cut through traffic a lot quicker. For those of you that are thinking about ever working in Thailand, my advice to you is, if you're not going to travel to a lot of places, get a motorcycle. Just get a motorcycle. It's going to be much easier for you. And it'll save you so much time. It'll save you so much money on gasoline. But if you want a car, go for it. And then second day of the internship was amazing as well. Didn't have any issues with the commute there. Luckily, no flat tires, no breakdowns, anything of that sort. And I ended up actually getting to the office 40 minutes early. And what's the best way to kill 40 minutes of free time? Go get some coffee. That's exactly what I did. Well, instead of coffee, I actually got iced black tea, because I already had coffee in the morning. I didn't want to keep drinking coffee. Usually I have between 1 to 2 cups a day. And it was good. And then, went to the office, did the same thing I was doing on my first day. Got to see a little bit more of how MCOT works and a little bit more of the MCOT building. Overall, the first couple of days of my internship have been a success. And I really want to thank all of those at MCOT that made the opportunity for me to get an internship possible. And for those that are supervising me and being my mentor, I really appreciate and thank all of you, and look forward to working with everybody and seeing what challenges lie ahead. Because in this internship, I know it's going to be challenging, but overall, it is going to be amazing. And I will try to keep you all updated as much as I can. Podcast can be heard weekly on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to Calitraveler 93, as well as liking my Facebook page, Calitraveler 93, and the podcast will be available on Spotify and other platforms.